Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very random, episode of a potentially brand new awesome show with my friend Eden Lou from Camo. We decided that we needed to do a show together, and so here we are.
Here we are. Literally, Ella was like, how do you feel about doing a little bite-sized lunchtime show with me? And I was like, I can't commit to anything longer than 20 minutes. But since we are only doing 20 to 30 minutes, I was like, yes, I'm in instantly.
Right? And look, I'm watching the clock. Because we both decided that ain't nobody got time. And the thing is, when it comes to content being created on the social media places, regardless of where that content is being created, there is a need for long form content, right? But the thing that Eden and I were discussing is that some long form is just too long.
Sometimes it's just a little bit longer than we need it to be, and sometimes you just want your information in 2 seconds without having to scroll through chapters or watching an entire video before you find the 2 minutes that are actually useful to you. So when Ella was like, we should just hash out one topic that we can chat about, I was like, that sounds perfect. We'll give people 15-20 minutes of information on a topic, and that will be concise, presented information as we talk it out.
Exactly. And today is our first day of doing this. So if you are watching us live, say hey, let us know that you're here. Give us a hey, #live. And if you are watching us in the replay, then give us a #replay. And we would love to hear from you. We would love to put you onto the screen, at least your little face onto the screen, and what it is that you're saying to us. And also, if you like the idea of getting the TLDR on things that we're thinking about, it's basically thought bites of Eden and Ella.
Yes. I think kind of how this show idea came to be is that every time we have a call where we're talking about a collab we want to do, or just kind of about industry things in general, we always realize that even though, okay, we go on a lot of tangents. I'm just going to be straightforward with it. But every tangent we go on is actually informative. We end up talking about lighting, or we talk about apps that we're using that are part of our workflow, and all of these little bites in our longer conversations are actually really useful information. So that's why when Ella came to me with this idea, I was like, kind of sounds like what we do when we catch up anyway. So
we figured, why don't we just let you in?
Come hang out with us.
On the conversations that we have about things like Eden said. We talk about tech, we talk about what's working with events, what's not working with events, what's working, or what are we doing testing with each of our own companies. So Eden, if you haven't heard me talk about this before, Camo camera is my absolute favorite camera. If you have ever wondered how my camera looks the way it looks, or what camera that I happen to be using, because I get questions about it all the time, and I've talked about it from time to time, Eden is at Camo camera. She is the face of Camo camera. And
I am. I'm actually currently working on a bunch of marketing assets right now with my face on them.
Right? So we're not going to tell anybody that she's not working right now. This is work. This is work. What we're doing right now is work.
This is work. This is work. And we are building our skills in engaging people on live.
Exactly. That is what we're doing. So, Eden, I would love, can you tell everybody that may not have heard of Camo Camera before? Can you talk to them a little bit about what Camo is and the beauty and wonder of it all, why it's different from other apps?
Do you mean the TLDR for Camo?
Yes.
All right. Well, Camo is an awesome app for video. It helps you stand out on video. Right now, the probably biggest functionality is that it allows you to unlock the power of your smartphone camera. So whether that is a Samsung Galaxy, an iPhone, a Pixel, that these companies put tons of R&D dollars into, you're able to now use that amazing camera for your webcam, your content, any video conferencing needs, all Camo. Camo, you can fine tune your image, all of the usual sort of adjustments that you have when you do video or take a picture on your phone, adjust brightness, contrast, saturation to make yourself look as perfectly tuned as you want to. And we also have really creator friendly features and video conferencing friendly features, such as like our in-app overlay editor, where you can quickly create a lower third or a little name badge to throw on for your next Zoom meeting, and everyone will be like, oh my god, that looks so cool, you look way more professional than everyone else on this call. So that's kind of the TLDR. There's way more features we can get into. Maybe we'll do that at a Camo focused
Maybe,
episode at a later date, but this is
yeah.
not a shameless plug for Camo. It's just it is actually a huge part of both of our workflows. So
It
that's why
it
we're
really
here.
is. It really is. And I remember, so Eden and I met is it 2 or 3 years ago? It's
2 years ago at this point. Yeah.
yeah, at the whatever it is, it's years at this point. And Eden and I met when I first started using Camo Camera those many years ago. And first, I had a conversation with Aiden, and I just realized you're Aiden and Eden.
You know what? I actually make this joke all the time that Aiden hired me because our names sound so similar. So when people wanted Aiden to go on to talk about the product, he could be like, yeah, you get Eden. And because it sounds so similar, when I show up, they're like, oh, we thought Aiden was showing up. And it's like, we said Eden. We didn't
Right.
say Aiden. We said Eden. So
It's
sounds
so
so similar,
it's
easy to
so similar.
confuse.
It's so similar, but you don't look anything alike at all.
No, we don't.
He has shorter hair.
Just a little bit. Yeah. He's also much taller.
Right. But when I met Aiden, and then he introduced me to Eden to talk about the possibility of us collaborating and all of those wonderful things, and how much I loved the camera and the app itself. Eden and I just hit it off. It was just like we were long lost friends.
How long was our first call? It was at least 90 minutes. It was
At
at least 90
least.
minutes.
At least.
Yeah.
And we talked about everything under the sun, and it's surprising to me that it took us this long to actually do something like this together. But um but for me, the camera app itself, I had been on the hunt for something to be a better camera, but without me having to purchase a DSLR camera. Because when it comes to this particular world, the DSLR camera is the thing that everybody talks about. But I don't know about
Yeah.
y'all. I don't know about you in particular watching right now. I am not a photographer. I have many photographer friends, and on my team we have photographers, and I am not I don't know how to I don't know from jump what needs to be pushed on a DSLR camera. And I did not have the time or the desire to try and figure all of that out, nor did I want to spend $5,000 plus.
That's a high barrier. The DSLR is a very high barrier to entry
It
into
really, really
content and
is.
video.
It really, really is. But I needed something better than the Logitech that I had, because at the time Everybody was talking about a Logitech, and I feel still that that is probably the number one name because it's so easy and accessible to get to. But what people don't realize, and I say all the time, and Eden, I know you say this too, the beauty of the Camo app is that you can access the already expensive camera that you have in your pocket in your
Yeah.
smartphone because you've
That
already
phone does not cost $1,200 because of the phone part.
hello. And the thing is that unlike some of the other apps that I've played with, and I know that you've played with them too, we, we got a like on
Oh
that one.
yeah.
Unlike some of the apps that I've played with, and I know that you have too, Eden, Camo just connects so easily on both Mac and PC.
And
And
on iOS versus Android.
on iOS versus Android. And that was one of the first conversations that we had because I said, I have an iPhone. I have more than one iPhone sitting here with me right now. But I told you in the beginning, I said, I'm going to go and get an Android because I need to see, because of what I do with events and the speakers we work with, I want to see what is the difference. Because there are some differences. They're subtle, but there
Yeah.
are some differences
There's
between
differences, yeah.
what's happening when you plug an iPhone in and what's happening when you plug an Android in. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I think this would actually be a great topic to do a full
Oh
episode
yeah.
on is
Oh
kind of
yeah.
just like not just in the camo like lane, but like just kind of the differences between the Android and iOS experience. But yeah, so like Ella was saying, there's they're different operating systems, so they present differently when it comes to how the camera looks. And I am team iOS iPhone forever. I thought I could never be convinced that an Android would match up to the iOS experience. But then I hopped on that call with Ella and she had both cameras set up. We switched in between the Android and the iPhone, and I had to admit, she looked better on the Android. They process colors differently, and so it kind of just depends on how you feel, what camera you feel like makes you look the best. Now, I will also say you can make a lot of adjustments in camo,
Which is why it's so amazing.
but also one thing that but yeah, but also one of the things you love most about Camo is that it's plug and play. So if you prefer how the Pixel camera makes you look, it's plug and play. You don't need to make any of the adjustments. When it's on auto, everything already looks good. I happen to look better on auto on the iPhone. So it just kind of depends on your personal preference and how you feel like you want to look on camera. But they are different, and I would just recommend sort of testing out a few different ones. We all have that drawer in our house with a couple of older phones. The older phones work really well with Camo, great way to repurpose,
Exactly.
and also just a great way to test out which kind of cameras you feel like might look better for you.
Exactly. Exactly. It's such an easier entry point to get over than having to have that massive learning curve of an, a piece of equipment that you may not even use for anything else besides streaming. And that was my other issue. I
Yeah.
While I know that I have equipment that I need for my job as a virtual event producer, there's equipment that I need, and yes, some of it is more expensive than others. My other goal was also to be able to find things that for our clients that were a
Yes.
little not as expensive to get into for not just the moment that we were producing a show for them, but long term, because this is a space that a majority of people are now having to be online, and you're having to present online and you need to look good. And
Yeah.
the first thing that you can look into after lights, because lights can up level even the cheapest camera.
Yes. Lighting. We will be doing a whole episode on lighting. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. But I also wanted to be able to have that piece of equipment. What is the closest thing? What's the easiest thing to get right now? Your phone,
Yep.
your expensive
And
phone.
that's the thing, Ella, is because I think you work with clients. It's not just about your content. It's not just about you having to learn how to set up a DSLR, finding the right lens for it, dialing in all those settings. That, yes, you could probably spend hours and a few months getting it right. But how could you possibly expect every one of your clients to go through that? That just seems
And
totally unrealistic.
it's absolutely unrealistic because of the type of people that we work with, which we're working with companies, we're working with government agencies, we're working with business owners that are doing hashtag all the things already, not being paid to learn how to do all of the outside things and need to get into it quickly and easily. And I am always looking for solutions for them. Like I said, that will be a solution beyond the moment that they work with
Yep.
me and my team. So,
100%. All about bringing that value, which is what we are doing in TLDR.
yeah, 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 yeah. And look, it's been 15 minutes and 56 seconds, and I promised Eden that we're not going longer than 15 minutes. So, so now that we're at 16, y'all, here's what I want to know. Here's what I want to know from you. First of all, if you are liking the possibility of having these conversations about whatever pops into mine and Eden's brain, if this is cool with you, then I want you to let us know in the comments. Let us know that you're liking this and you love the idea of us coming back. It's going to be on probably the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. And we will TLDR some things that we think are important in your businesses and in your lives that we've been thinking about. If that's something that you like, then let us know in the comments. Also, if you want to be reminded of the fact that we're coming on the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month around this time, then go ahead and grab this link. I will do my best to pop it into all the places that we are. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube's. And I'll pop the link in so that you can get on the list to
And I'll also
get the
say
reminders. Yeah, go ahead.
that if you have a topic that you would love just a little, like a few thoughts on other than your own, let us know. Just like comment. You would love to hear a little bit about the differences between iOS and Android, or about lighting, or about transferring files from a Mac to a PC. You know, just any little. This is only a 15-minute show anyway. So any even little thing that you think of be a great thing from
Any little thing that you
and I'm
think
lagging
of
a little
will
bit.
be, that's all right. Any little thing that you can think of will be really great fodder for us and for the show. We want to know what you want to hear about for this particular show that you would like us to spin off on for 15 minutes. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here live with us, for those of you that were here with us live. And for those of you that were watching with us in the replay, we are so excited to have you here too. We will see you next time. Deuces.